Good morning, folks. Good morning. This is Spirit Journey. Yes, today is Thursday, and the date is September 10, 2020, and the time is 6:01 a.m. I was just given, someone had sent me a link, a story, one of my subscribers, a story on this man that you see here on the screen. His name is Daniel Prude. I never heard of his. I live in New York City, and this story took place in Rochester, New York. It's north of us. And this individual was he got high on PCP, which is a strong hallucinogen, and you go cuckoo. He went cuckoo. And he was sent to the hospital. I think his brother had him go to the hospital. But the hospital only kept him for 11 hours. It's like they have this thing like up to 72 hours you could hold someone in a mental ward. But they said that the hospital was saying that, well, he seemed to come to himself, and it was his will, Daniel Prude, to be released. And so they couldn't release, so they released him. They couldn't hold him. 11 hours later, he's dead. Well, he has an episode. Let me try to move this. It doesn't. Trying to scroll it. Let's see. Okay, it won't scroll up how I wanted to. Let me see the other page. Okay. Okay, this is another page here on the story. Yeah, my computer. I'm having problems with my computer. Any of the videos, it doesn't seem to stream on this computer for whatever reason. But at least I'll move it up. Okay. So, unfortunately, well, he gets released and he goes out naked. Let me see if I can find that. Okay. This is him there that you see on the ground, completely naked. And this occurred in March. Okay, it says March 23rd, you see here. March 23, 2020 in Rochester, New York. It's upstate New York. And he dies shortly later. Well, see, he's on a rampage. He's just running around naked, and the police officers find him running around naked. And you can see here, man that has no clothes on. And he's spitting on the police officers. And so that's why they put a bag over his head. And they tried to subdue him. He's under the influence of PCP. But he stops breathing. They say after 2 minutes, he stops breathing. And they raise him to the hospital, and he's put on life support. And a week later, they remove him off life support, and he dies. It's a tragedy, and my condolences to his loved ones of this man. But now, for whatever reason, now it's in the public eye. Now, this happened on March 23rd, the incident, and then he died a week later. But now, they want, let me see here. Let me see the other one. Okay, they want as you see in this headline, Rochester mayor and police chief say they won't resign amid Daniel Prude's protests. Okay. So here, let me see. Oh, okay, it's not on this. this view. Let me see if I can scroll it. Okay. Okay, here. As a man of integrity, I will not sit idly by while outside entities attempt to destroy my character. The events over the past week are an attempt to destroy my character and integrity. Okay. Yeah, they're protesting here. I was just trying to find any, the scene of the protesters. That's what I'm trying to. Okay, and I see here Donald Trump, our president, did a tweet, and the tweet is September 8th, so it's just 2 days ago. Police chief and most of the police in Rochester, New York have resigned. The Democrat mayor and, of course, Governor Cuomo have no idea what to do. New York State is a mess. No money, high taxes, and crime. Everyone fleeing. November 3rd, we can fix it. Okay. Okay, that's politics there. But yeah, I wasn't looking for that. I'm looking for this screen. Okay, what is this now? Okay, it looks like some papers here. But yeah, I was just looking for the thing with the police, with the rioting. Okay, I can't find it here. But either way, the people in that area are rioting. And these are my thoughts. Again, it's my thoughts are based on things that I have encountered in my life. I knew of someone who abused drugs. And for years, this person, family, friends, try to help. And they'll pull, people who abuse substances, pull everyone down around them. And in the Black community, it's rampant where I live. And sometimes, some of you have seen videos, and one of them I did like a week or two ago, and the man just at random comes up to me and is in view of my camera, and it's you see it happen, and how aggressive some of them are. And when people want their fix, they'll do anything to get it, and they're a danger to society. And remember, some of you, that I was wearing a body cam. I had purchased a body cam after about 2 months ago. I was groped by this man. And no one went to help me. I went to this store that was right next to me. It had like an open window so you can order your food. It was a fast food joint. You can sit in or take out. Most of the people sit in. It's very popular with tourists. And I pleaded for help. I said, hey, this man is, I said what he did, and the man is coming towards me, angry. And the woman just, it was a black fellow that did it, an older black man. And the person that was at the window that asked for her to call the police, that's what I said, please call the police. This man just, did X, Y, Z to me. And the man is coming towards me angrily. And the lady was a black woman, young black woman, very young, she could have been in her early 20s, and yells at me and doesn't want to get involved. So now you have an individual, a black man, who, this man here that you see, who did drugs at the time of his death. Again, these cops don't know him. He's a naked man running. His family, his brother's the one that called for help for him. But what I'm angry at is that many of us in the Black community want to blame outsiders. And now it's popular now in the Black community to blame police officers who are trying to do their job. What would you do? You see a naked man running about who's high on PCP. That is a strong hallucinogenic drug that makes you crazy. And it's unfortunate. It's unfortunate of his death. They weren't trying to kill him. But again, see what happens when oftentimes when family member dies, and especially when it's like substance abuse issues, then it's the blame game. No one wants to take responsibility over this family member, or let's say friend. And so what's the quickest thing to do? Blame the cop, blame the officers, but blame everybody else but that individual, right? And so what I'm also angry is that now you have a community, for whatever reason now, because this incident happened in March, and it's September now. Okay, so it's 6 months later, but now it's being put out there in the news. And the official and the mayor, they want to pull them down. Was that an issue? Was it the issue of the mayor? Was it the issue of the police chief? Now, if it's something like corruption and like the guy who got choked, the knee choke, you put the knee on the guy's neck. Now that's something else. That's abuse. But someone who's high, spitting on you, and it was said that he had told someone that he had coronavirus. So you have someone with coronavirus spitting. Now I know most of you wouldn't want anyone to spit on you, right? I know I wouldn't want someone to spit on me. And those cops have to protect themselves. So what I think what's happening now, you have outside forces. You have people who have an agenda. And again, they like to use Black people for agendas because we're very emotional. We're very reactive. We need to respond, not react. React is like a reflex response, but a response is something that's calculated, that's well thought out. We need to learn how to respond maturely about an issue. So they're protesting and rioting in Rochester, New York over this incident, and they want certain people to resign. Now, them resigning is not going to help other people like this individual who unfortunately passed away, this Mr. Daniel Prude. Okay, you have a community of people who sit idly by, oftentimes, and watch these drug dealers come into their neighborhoods and do nothing. They do nothing, say nothing, but then they want to now, because it's popular now, to riot and point fingers at someone else, the police. The police are there to protect you, but now things are so out of whack. And now you want to defund the police, and you need more policing. You need well-trained police officers, not just rookie. You need mature, mentally balanced police officers And it would be, I think, beneficial to have police officers who are from that community, who understand the people who they police. So my issue really is about the protesters. And I think they should protest in the neighborhood and the individual who gave that PCP to him. That would be more efficient. That would be, hey, let's protest and kick out any person who is a drug abuser, a substance abuser, and those drug dealers, and those gangbangers. See, when black people, when we work strategic on an important issue, or any race who works strategically on an important issue, then you're effective. See, they didn't protest with the drug dealers. They didn't push them out. They didn't do like citizens arrest. They didn't say, hey, you better cut it out. But they just sit like victims in a pity party that, see, we taught to be that we have no power. You do have the power. Get rid of these creeps in your neighborhood. Be selective with who moves into your neighborhood or who does business in your neighborhood. See, it'll be very effective. You protest people who bring in those fast food joints in your neighborhood that cause obesity. But God forbid if you take away one of those chicken places. You've seen those videos. Oh, because they ran out of chicken and they rioted. See that? That's where your mind is at, people. You're embarrassing to many of us. You'll fight over no chicken sandwich. But here you have people who are doing, peddling drugs in your neighborhood to cause mental illness in your community. Or when a woman like myself says, hey, please call the cops. And what response did I get? But a very immature, young black woman who refused to call the cops. See, also, when you have a business establishment, to call the authorities to come right away because it's a business line. Just a random cell phone, they'll take a half an hour. And that's how long it took when I had to get my cell phone out. I was shaking like a leaf. Half an hour. And then being told, during the wait for the cops to come, these men on horses, police horses, were coming by. And I told them what happened. And so they stayed at the scene. And it took about a half an hour for the police car to come. But the guy on the horse, police officer on the horse, said, oh, by the way, he's probably crazy and they'll send him to the hospital, but they'll probably release him because of COVID. See that? So I said, well, it's your option what you want to do. And it's how it came across. But he was letting me know up front. Then I, basically just walk away because nothing's really going to be done. No one will be protected. Now that's something that is worth getting people behind you to, hey, get some type of facility for just mental health. If it's about COVID now, we'll build a facility just for cuckoo people, those substance abusers. Have a facility for drug rehabilitation. Something like that, a free place for those people who want to be drug-free. Something like that. Something like that is worth protesting for your community. But we do things backwards. You do absolutely nothing in your community. You stay indoors. You don't want to get involved. But then when there's possible money, see, now you have a dead individual. And so now you can maybe a lawsuit, wrongful death, right? That's probably what's going to happen. So when there's money to be made, then you go out and protest. But other than that, people, watch relatives or friends just go about, and then you put your anger on the people who it's not the police officer's fault for him doing PCP. It's his fault for his behavior. But it's a tragedy as a community that he felt a need to do drugs. That I have compassion for. The compassion for because I live in a neighborhood, and most of the black dudes that I see, it's very few normal black men in my neighborhood that you see just out and about. Former, people who are, former criminals. They live in the hotels, like New York City sets up hotels for them to live in, and they're just out and about in the street, and that's my reality. Very few middle-class black people, very few so-called normal black men who may be married with children, living in a family. They're not in my neighborhood. You'll find maybe a single black female with children in my building. Very few of us, and it hurts me. It hurts me emotionally. So I think our priorities are just in the wrong direction. We have to sit and find out, organize how to stop the drugs in the neighborhood, how to start eating properly so you have good health, how to keep sane in an environment that they don't like you. We have to start loving ourselves. People who do drugs don't like themselves. When you love yourself, you don't abuse your body. We have to start loving ourselves and loving our neighbor. And that when your neighbor says, hey, please call the cops, this man just did this to me, and you see the man coming towards the person looking crazy, and you refuse to help, what are you communicating with other people who watch? What your behavior is communicating is you're not worth it because you don't even like yourself. But now you have this mantra now, this black mantra, Black Lives Matter, Black Lives Matter. But your whole behavior, how you treat yourself and treat other black people is horrendous. And it's a mockery. And when you do try to improve yourself, let's say improve the way you communicate verbally, and they'll say, you're trying to act white. When you try to improve your physical image and try to educate yourself and go to school, oh, you don't like us anymore. Oh, you think you're white again. All this negativity. And what you're saying about yourself, you're saying that black people aren't smart. Black people are not supposed to be intelligent. We're not supposed to be concerned about what we put in our bodies. So why should anybody else care about you? Why should white people care about you? You need to start caring about yourself and stop acting like a victim and start really examining what you can do. If you're going to protest, protest against those druggies. Go in their neighborhoods. Go into their drug dens and say, get the F out of here. Get out of here. But you don't do that. You're like that woman in that store who refused to call the cops because they lack in real compassion for their fellow brother or sister. That's the problem. So that's all that I have to say. And yeah, but again, I have compassion for him, but the responsibility is ultimately on that fellow who abused drugs and people who may have enabled him. Okay, but it's not impossible to improve our life here. Yeah, let me get off the phone. I mean the mic. Again, folks, thank you for listening. Be safe. Use your head, and just count to 3 before you do something. Okay. Bye bye, guys.